So just work upon the add. If I make a double click on the add, they take me there. So this is what we have. We have the public class, which is of our form, which is called employee form, and then you have this, which is our add button. Now we want to make a connection to the database. Now, when you look at our design view, we have 1, 2, 3 buttons that are going to have all different queries. It means when I'm making a connection to database, if I create a variable that is going to store or help me connect to database in this private sub of the add button, it means if I make a connection in this one, let me write comments. So if I make a connection from here, it means if I'm going to hold or handle the other button of update, it means I should also have another connection. You get, because what you write here, you cannot access it outside of this private sub. So what do? We make our connection to be public so that all these other subs that we're going to be having can have access to the connection. So, but before I make a connection to the database, I need to import, like you're importing a library. You get, I need to import a library that enables me to access or have contact with MySQL. You get, I need to import that library because it is not there. So what do? I write imports. You see that imports, I have this after having a space. This is what I have. So are you seeing anything like MySQL here among these ones? You get, I don't have that. They call them references in my project. So I don't have that resource or that library in this project that I'm running. So what do? I need to add it there. I need to add that resource there. So what do? I come to project, look for where add reference is. Add reference is. So when you click on add reference is, they will load this. You see, there are many. You have the .NET, you have the com, you have the projects, you have the browse, you have the recent. You see, so I'll come to .NET. Now on .NET, I'll look for where MySQL data is. So just scroll to M and look for this MySQL data. So after selecting it, you click OK. If I type imports, I have MySQL now there. It's here. So I'll just double click on it, then data, MySQL client. That is what we should have. So as I said that we want to make a connection to database, and I said that we should make that connection public. So what do? You create a variable. So we say dim, can give it a name, any name like connection, connect. You get, I just want to name it con, just briefly. I tried something that is short. So dim con as new, then MySQL connection. So MySQL connection. So this is a method. This one for MySQL, this one MySQL connection. That is where you're going to connect from. So what do we need? We need what we call a server equals to localhost. What comes next is the user. The user is root. Put those terminations. Then we have the password. Password will equal to nothing, so don't put anything. Just terminate, and then our database will equal to. So you come back here. This is, so our database is named employees database. So I'll just come back. Okay, I'll just come back employees database. That is what we gave it, and then terminate. Now that means we are good to go. This line is making a connection to the database. So here we're making a connection to the database. Now let me come here on our add button. So this is our add button, and we want to see how can we add anything to the database. Now when you look at this, we say that this is an object, and we give it a name of con. So this one becomes a resource that we are going to use. The connection, so we are going to use our database, because if this is called con and it makes a connection to database, that means you're going to be using a database. So this one becomes a resource. You get? And whenever you're going to use these resources, what do? You say con, which is the connection, dot open, because you want to use that resource. So it's say con dot open. And you also have the con dot close. So we shall have a variable dim query as string, then have that. This is, now we are going to write our query here. So how do you write these queries? So I'll say insert. This is how we write our query. Insert into. So insert into, what you write next is the table name. You get? Not the database name, but the table name. So the table name, so I'll come here and check what is my table name. The table name is called employees table. So I will come back here and write it. Insert into employees table. Was it employees table or just employee? Come and check. It's called employees table. All right, we are good to go. So insert into employees table. So the insert query has three parts. Let me write a comment here. The insert query, what should I write all these things? Has three parts. So the first part is you have to write the table name where you're inserting the data. Then the second part is you have to define the fields stroke columns where you're going to be inserting the columns that are going to hold the data. Then lastly, the values, the actual data that you're inserting into these fields. These are the parts that it has. It has this one, which is insert into the table. You get? Now the second part is the fields. What are the fields or the columns that you have in that particular table are the ones that you insert here. So if I come back here, I have first name, last name, position, salary, hire date. ID is not part because ID is on auto increment. You get? So we have the first name, last name. Let me first write those ones. The way they are in the database is the same way they should be when you're writing them here. So I'll have first name, comma, last name, comma, which one came next? Position. So comma, come here, write position. So we have salary, and last we have the hire date. Did I write it? I think I wrote it like this. Hire date. And so that is what we have. So this is the second part. You must define the fields or the columns that you have. Then lastly, we said it should have the values. So what are you inserting? In those columns, I want to insert values. And then values should also be in those brackets. When you're writing the values, you first start with the single quotes. You see, you start with the single quotes. Then in between the single quotes, you put the double quotes. Pay attention here. You put the double quotes. Is in the middle of these double quotes, you put these double ands. Those double ands that are on shift and 7, these double ands. So in between of these ones is where you write the text box. So put a space and say first name. You see they give you that this is the first name text box. So what do you want to get from it? I want to get its text. You see, that is what you should be writing. Always have the single quotes, the double, put the two ands, and then have that one there. So the next time, don't write it again. Just come and copy this one, highlight it, press Ctrl C, come at the end of this one, put a comma, paste that one, paste it, and just change this last name. So last name, this one is so copy. Okay, copy that one, come here, the comma, paste it there, then come and change this one. What are we supposed to have there? Position, the position. We also have the one for salary. This is salary. I want it to come, yes, salary, that one. Then lastly, hire date. So hire date, hire date. So I'm going to have hire date. How did I write? Yes, I wrote it as hire date. Time picker, but this is not a text box, so we don't put the text. So we put dot value dot date. All right. So after doing this is just a query. So by that, I need a variable here that can help me communicate. So I need something like a command. You see, you get. So I'll put dim cmd. So this is like a command. And as MySQL command, it is there. MySQL command. So I have that variable dim cmd as MySQL command. You get dim variable as MySQL command. Then come back here, call it. Okay, so cmd will equal to new MySQL command. It takes our query. And also takes the connection to the database, whereby that connection is stored it in a variable called con. So here, what do we do? We say your command, you want to run your command dot execute none query. So I think in the next discussion, I will explain what execute none query means. I'll explain what this means, execute none query, because you're going to see that there are some queries that you're going to write and you're not going to be using execute none query. You get. After that, I can save and run that one, and to see if it is working. Okay, I get something like this. So I'll put a name, position, salary, and choose a date, any date that I want, and then click the add. I've clicked on the add. If I have any error, they will tell me, but they have not brought anything. So I'll come to database and check if that is there. If those things are there, to come back to my database and then come here. Adam Sharifa secretary, but the date is having errors. Can either use, if I come to the structure, so we say that you can either use, let me have some changes. Let me make some changes. We are going to look for a better way of having that thing. Yes, but let me first use Vacha. For now, okay, if you use Vacha, it means you must define the characters. Let me just put like 10. So if I come back to my Visual Basic, remember I'm still running. Let's wait. So let me just change the money. Not going to change many things. Okay, even the name to Ada. Then click add. Then come and check if it is there in my database. Refresh. It is there. It's there.